Cyber fan, cyberspace cadet cyber people, Odesians, and Femerica. Excelereight prostate. It's Wednesday. You know what that means? It's time for accelerated deconstruction with Excelereight Anathema, who's not here, but she sends her regards. She is laid up and in pain. So let's send positive love and vibes to Miss Anathema. And, hey, man.
I just realized, I know you've had the screen forever, dude, but whenever you have accelerated deconstruction pop up on your screen,
Yeah.
you have a C in my handle. There's no C. I'm not a fucking spreadsheet irate.
Well, I mean, you know, so
I find it offensive that you would compare me to such things.
it's not like you're around computers all the time or anything.
Or working in spreadsheets all the time. Like, literally, like, half of my job involves putting shit in Excel sheets. Not because it's the best technology that I have, but it's because all the boomers I work with, that's all they can figure out how to use.
Excuse me, Lordy.
Like, hey, here's this really powerful platform for showing reports that has all sorts of visualizations, cross-filtering, and various ways to filter and view the data that you're trying to get to. And they're like, can you put it in an Excel sheet?
Okay. Right. Let's say hello to some people. It's good to see you around, man. FDW, no greetings. Philip Daniel, I salute you, sir. I have not listened to what you sent me last, so I've been a bad boy. I've been busy. Trust me. Wikipedia snippet greetings. Let's see. Well, there's Excelereight right there. Modus operandi greetings. Virgie G. And Green Badger Outdoors. Welcome aboard. So, Excel, you kind of want to explain to everybody what's going on here?
Yeah, so tonight, we were talking after the show, actually towards the end of our last show, about this movie called Harrison Bergeron, which is actually based on a Kurt Vonnegut short sci-fi story, which I guess Kurt Vonnegut was a certified pinko. Doesn't really matter because I think a lot of what we're going to see in this movie parallels to the attitude of social justice warriors today. It's kind of crazy, actually, how weird it is. Like, it's not exact parallels, but you think, like, I'm just like, if they had the technology, they'd fucking do it. They'd fucking do it.
Right. And Philip's saying he has the new Odyssey channel, too. So, good deal.
Yeah, so on that note, because we're going to be watching that, anybody that's not on Twitch or not on Odyssey, I highly recommend you go ahead and switch over there. We're going to talk in here for a little bit, but while I am not sure of the copyright status of this movie, I assume that what we're doing is fair use. I'm not sure Susan would agree. Cough, cough. Yeah, I think Odyssey and Twitch, it'll be fine. So make sure you head over there. It's a great movie. We'll be kind of doing it Mystery Science Theater 3000 style, right? Like, we'll be chuckling. We'll be talking about it a little bit. We'll be reading the chat.
We're not crying at the accuracy of it.
We're not crying at the exactly.
Hey, who's cute, my love, man. Hell yeah, Saturday will be our 28th anniversary. We've been together 30 years, but yes.
Yeah, so I've been
How you doing, Excel? What have you been up to? Talk to me, man. Fill me in.
Well, so I've been following the Kyle Rittenhouse case. So there was a hearing recently, and once again, it's just. And this is one where, like, all sides are getting it wrong, right? Like, whether you're a lot of people that are pro Kyle and a lot of people that are, everybody that's anti Kyle is getting this wrong. So, the judge has a rule in his courtroom where if you have somebody on trial and there's a person that's potentially a victim of the crime, that he doesn't let people use the word victim in his courtroom because he thinks it prejudices the defendant.
Yes.
A prejudicial term to the defendant. That is very important, right? There are a lot of protections afforded to a defendant.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of
So
the whole point of the thing. It's like you're innocent until proven guilty in a court of law in this country. That's one of the founding principles of this thing. Was
yeah, so
because there were so many
Ginger,
people that were like hung and beheaded for nothing, just so that
yeah.
they could steal their land and shit.
So I don't necessarily care like if the judge did or didn't have that rule, right? But uh the prosecuting attorney, being the whiny bitch that he is, because all his motions that were based on trying to impugn Kyle's character and basically prejudice the defendant by calling him a white supremacist or saying that he got in a fight with some fight with his sister that was fighting somebody else, and he stepped in and hit the girl that was attacking his sister because the girl was twice the size of his sister. Let's be real of what happened there. And then, like 6 months later, he was at a pub with alleged members of the Afro-Cuban-led Proud Boys, which somehow is proof that he went there. So, he's just trying to tell the story that he was just a white supremacist out there hunting protesters, even though everybody kills white, right? Like, because he has no case. So, like, if the
Randall,
law's on your
go ahead.
let's say if the law's on your side, you hammer the law. If the facts are on the side, you hammer the facts. If neither are on your side, you hammer the table. And that's what Binger's doing. But anyway, so he filed a... Oh, go ahead.
Random cunt tips $10 and says, have some fun. Have a fun stream. And I say, thank you. We will.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Thanks.
Thanks for the money, man. Appreciate it big time.
But yeah, so anybody that's been following us on Twitter has probably seen people being like, oh, we can't call the people who shot victims, but we can call them looters and rioters. And everybody's kind of misunderstanding what the judge said. It was like, no, I'm not going to, like, if they have evidence that bears out that the people he shot were involved in that night, and that plays bearing to his, Kyle's state of mind, like, he's not going to preclude them from saying it. It doesn't mean that they can just come out and say it without evidence, necessarily, right? And people are just missing the big difference is the people he shot aren't on trial right now. Like the deference to, whether like the evidence or the wording would be prejudicial goes to the defendant. Right. Just people are just completely missing that point. It's all over Twitter.
Yeah, but if it was their ass on trial, they would definitely want to not be referred to.
Well, yeah, of course, right? It's Binger just whining. Like, he's a whiny bitch.
It's just
in the latest hearing,
size bullshit, man.
Oh, dude, and also Binger's just terrible. He actually said to the judge, he's like, I don't think a armed person should ever be shooting somebody that's unarmed. And the judge just looks at him and he's like, do you really fucking think that's what our law says? Like, I'm reading to you, precedent from a Supreme Court case, because that's what was happening before, where it was an armed person shooting somebody who was unarmed that was the aggressor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Binger actually said those words, and he's like, the judge just, by the end of it, like, all Binger did was piss the judge off, that's a great way to start your case out as a prosecutor. I don't know. His only strategy, this is the last I'll talk about the Rittenhouse case, but the prosecution's only strategy is to get enough misinformation out there to hope that Twitter lefties are the only people on the jury and that they ignore, the judge and just convict Kyle for political lynching reasons. Yeah. And I actually don't think that's going to happen.
I don't either. But then again, you never know, man. So I thought OJ was guilty. So
yeah, right. Well,
the jury
that was the same thing. There was no bias. There was no jury that was going to be unbiased there.
Gloves did not fit, and they did not. I mean, they acquitted.
So. They acquitted. Yep. Well, some people were making some comparisons to the Chauvin trial, and I was just like, okay, Chauvin got railroaded a little bit, right? Like, the judge was very deferential to the prosecution. The prosecution did a lot of things that probably should have resulted in a mistrial. My personal opinion is I think that they at least reached the reasonable doubt standard. Like there was reasonable doubt cast on whether Chauvin was actually guilty of those crimes. But at least the prosecution had a case, right? When I first watched those videos, I thought he was fucking guilty.
Right.
But it's completely different. The prosecution really has no legal case. All they can do is try to poison the court of public opinion and bias the jury pool as much as they possibly can and pray for a conviction that way. That's it.
Sweet. Well, when do you want to pop over to the other channel?
Oh, well, I don't know. What else do you want to talk about?
I don't know, man.
I know in the social justice world,
but I can't because Susan will eat us.
Well, so there's some funny stories about like a Kentucky school. They had like women dressed up in Hooters uniforms, and then they had boys dressed up in lingerie giving lap dances to the teachers.
Holy shit.
So I'm reading it, I'm just like, it could be a lot more innocent, and it was just like a way to embarrass the teaching staff than it sounds. At the same time, like, I just, with the way schools work, like, part of me is just like, I bet you this is some weird fucking critical gender theory nonsense indoctrination going on.
Yeah, it's map shit, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, I can't help it now. Like,
or as
it's everywhere, but I think this might be a case. Pedophile. This might be a case where it's like a lot of nothing, right? It was a lot more harmless than it seems.
Yeah, man, but I mean, you know, it's like shit. There's just they might as well just be honest with it and saying, yeah, we're gonna try to, you know, we're gonna try to get your kids sexually active as early as we can now, so that perverts can justify their fucking indulgence, and it's disgusting. You know, it's like, I'm not going to get all like eloquent on this shit, man. It's shitty. It's wrong. It's evil. I mean, you know, and that's a positive description.
That's the nicest thing you have to say.
Exactly. All right, everybody. So, what we're going to do is like, we want y'all to migrate over to Twitch, please, or to Odyssey. Right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Either one will work.
Yeah, because we want to watch this movie.
But we're gonna go dark on YouTube here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Grabbing the links to both Odyssey and Twitch and posting them in the wrong chats.
I can do this.
Philip Daniel, you're not wrong. Everything is Marcusian and Foucaultian. Fucking Foucault.
Foucault, man. Fuck that.
We should do another video on him.
You think?
Maybe. Actually, he was one of the ones where like, I don't know, like, I realized that he opened the gate to some really horrendous shit, right? Especially whenever you connect it with critical theory. But like some of his points I said, like I thought weren't just terrible on their face.
Yeah.
Especially like later in his career, he became very anti-skeptical that any government could ever do any good. And I was like, that's a good argument. Don't agree how you got there, but you know, we'll agree that governments suck.
I'll say it. H.
So I didn't actually. I should download the movie, showed you the clip. I haven't actually watched it since I watched it. I know I saw it when I was a teenager, and then I watched it again probably like 8 years ago, and it's just been a long time.
Right.
Like when I was a teenager, it was just on a lot, so I remember watching it over and over again.
Did it make an influence? It sounds like it had like kind of a visceral effect on you.
I guess, right? It stuck in my head, just kind of remembering this idea of dumbing everybody down and making everybody the same, and how ridiculous that is.
Sweet. All right. So what I'm going to do over here. All right, people. If you're on Twitch, nothing's going to happen. I'm just going to turn off the feed to YouTube, and that's going to wrap. And so I urge you all to pop over. I see the number going. Whoop, doop, doop. Yep. Good deal, people. Come on over and Twitch and Odyssey. Odyssey's
Yeah, I promise everybody. Well, okay. I highly suspect that almost all your audience will enjoy the movie if they haven't seen it already. It stars Sean Astin.
Mm-hmm. It's got a lot of names in it because the opening credits
Yeah.
you see. Half a Second City on there. Eugene Levy and Andrea Martin. Christopher Plummer is in it. So there's some good. Even Sean Astin plays a small part in it. Gomez Adams from the original Addams Family TV show. Let's see what else. But
it is a made-for-TV movie though from the '90s. So don't expect some spectacular HD and amazing special effects and props. I think it was it was made for Showtime, right?
All right, so are y'all ready? We're going to go ahead and we're going to split a cake in 5, 4, 3.
See y'all on Twitch
2, and Odyssey. Twitch and Odyssey. Join us now because I am killing this damn thing.